All right. Mark, let me know when we're ready.
We're ready, sir. I'm gonna send you the document you needed. And we're live.
All right. You can put it as an attachment in WhatsApp.
Yes, sir.
All right. Are we live?
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, good afternoon, everybody. Good morning, good day, wherever you are in the world. Uh, we are here on our Wednesday session, Lunch and Learn. We're talking about this week grants for housing programs. For those of you that don't know me, I'm Jay Hackett. I'm a grant expert. I've been doing this for about 20 years. So far, my total is $107 million, and that is grants and funding for lots of programs, national programs, local programs, small programs, big programs, church programs, community programs, and everything in between. Um, and uh, and the important thing about that is just to give you an idea of who I am and what I've done regarding grants. The most important thing is that I'm able to take people that do not have a history of grants, do not have the expertise in grants, and I'm able to help them get funded. In fact, yesterday, one of my students, and this is the first grant she's ever applied for, she got a she got awarded $75,000 in a grant. Um, and then one of my students asked about my grant software. I put my brain into a computer and then supercharged it with AI. Um, and they asked about what my software had done. And the largest grant that my software has done last year, my software wrote a grant for 3.7 million that was awarded for 3.7 million. And so I've done this in real life. I've done this online. I've done it with people I know, done it with people I don't know. And I'm just here to share some information with you so that you can do this for your program, your mission, your community, etc. So real quick, hey, all right, real quick, wherever you are, because we're broadcasting, we're both in Zoom and we're on Facebook and we're on YouTube, all live. So just type in the chat where you are located, so that people have a sense of where you are. Where you are located. All right, let's go. All right, have y'all ready? So here we're going to do some secrets that'll fast track your funding. On Monday, we went over some concepts and ideas about what grants could do and about how your grants could be structured, your programs could be structured so that it can be awarded grants. Today, I want to go over some secrets that'll fast track your grant funding, and then I'm going to show you a budget for a typical housing program. All right. So, number one, you don't need to. All right, does not fit. And one of the worst things that you can do is a grant that does not fit. Then you get into mission creep, where you creep outside your mission, you end up moving down a road, down a street that you don't need to. It becomes a waste of time and a waste of energy. So the fastest way to get funded is to be selective. Only apply for grants that directly match your housing program, your purpose, your target population, and your outcomes. Right. Number two, use the funder's language. What they say, you say it back to them. Mirror exact words that they say. All right. Mirror the exact words that they say. When they list their priorities, make those priorities your priorities. When they have their guidelines or their RFP, it signals alignment. When you're able to say the words to them that they said to you, they sound like super simple, but you got to use the KISS principle. Keep it simple, stupid. All right. Or keep it super simple if you don't want people to call you stupid. But don't complicate it. Just use their language. When they say we want to serve young adults age 16 to 24, then tell them we serve young adults age 16 to 24. And don't just say it. Make sure that you really are serving young adults 16 to 24. If they say our funding is set aside for survivors of domestic violence, then you our program is set up for survivors of domestic violence. If they say that our program is set aside for single mothers, then you say we have a program set aside for single mothers. All right, use the funder's language. That's how you can ensure that what you're doing aligns with them. Number 3, lead with partnership. Funders love collaboration. All right. So highlight your network, highlight the city agencies, the nonprofits, the churches, the landlords, everybody that you're connected to, the referral sources, people you refer to, and people that refer their clients to you. Name all of them. All right. Demonstrating collective impact uh, makes everything stronger, and it causes the grant reviewer to be confident that the money will stretch further because you have a lot more people working with you. Their money is not the only money. They expect that they'll provide the money, and other people are going to provide the other stuff that's going to stretch. All right. Number 4, you want to show immediate impact. So frame your proposal, frame your answers, frame your response in quick wins. You don't want to talk about the wins that took a few years to accomplish. You want to talk about the wins that happened immediately, even if it's somebody stopped using drugs, even if somebody immediately moved out of an abusive home, even if somebody got a job for the first time in 3 years. All right, whatever that win is, make sure you document it and tell the quick win. All right. 25 families were housed within 60 days. That's a quick win. Now, you don't have the outcome of what happened after they received housing, how long they were housed, et cetera. You don't need that right now. This is how you can get access to funding quickly, how you can not only access the funding, but get your program going and get the respect that it needs in the community. All right. So you want to show immediate impact. And if you need help on showing your impact, I have a class on that. All right. Number 5, you want to have grant ready documents already in place. So your EIN, your state corporation commission certificate, your 501c3 determination, all of those should be in a file, in a physical file, but they should also be in your Google Drive. If you are in North Carolina, you also need a state solicitation license. If you're in Georgia, you need a solicitation license. Some states do not require a solicitation license, but make sure that you know if your state requires it, you're going to need to have it because some grant reviewers will require it. All of the city and state, all the city and state grants that that are in a state, a solicitation state, all of them will require it. So you want to make sure you have it ready. All right. The last thing that you want to have ready in terms of documentation, have your letters of support. If people supported you last year at the last grant, are they still willing to support you? Or are they still willing to support you? Or has something changed? Have you gotten somebody else to do that? All right. So you want to have your letters of support. You also want to have your audited financials. Now, a lot of people, they kind of tense up when they ask for audited financials. You don't have to. This is what you do. When you have your audited financials are for companies, number 1, that have money to audit. And if you're just starting out, you don't have money to audit. So what you do is you print out your profit and loss statement for the year. You print out your nonprofit letter, your determination letter, and you make the statement on letterhead, comes from the board. You make the statement that um, we do not yet have audit financials because we have less than 50,000 in revenue. We don't have audit financials because we're less than a year old. We don't have audit financials because we can't afford it yet, or we don't have a funding source to cover it. Whatever your reason is for not having audit financials, you put that in a letter on letterhead, sign it as it's coming from the board, attach your profit and loss and your nonprofit determination letter. Put those 3 things together in one PDF, and where they ask for all their financials, upload this. All right. You don't want any blanks. You don't want to leave any question unanswered. But you can't move forward without all their financials. But this is what you put in that slot. All right. Number 6, you want to stack multiple small wins. Now, when you're applying for a grant that's large, you want to have a history of having applied for and received something small. So if you get a couple $100 grant from Walmart, a couple $100 grant from Target, donations from Humana, in-kind services from a therapist, whatever you get, you want to document all of that so that when you apply for this grant, you can say that you have already been awarded X, Y, Z, ABC, and you just need this amount in order to finish the project. All right. Don't overlook the small grants. $5,000 grant, $25,000 grant. They might not be a game changer for a huge agency. They might not cover a whole salary, but they're really important and they're vital to telling the story of how you put this all together. It's also very normal for a nonprofit to have multiple grants covering one program or even covering one salary. Bigger funders are more willing to give grants and to invest when you've already gotten support. Now, I know that's not fair because if you had it, you wouldn't need it. But the reality is that money breeds money. And so that's why when you get one grant, you need to make a big deal about it. Do a press release, tell the radio station, do a story in the paper, do whatever you can to tell it. You want to say thank you to the funders, but you also want to welcome other funders. Now, let's take a look at the next one. The next one on my list is tell a transformational story. When you have a housing program, you are with people and they're with you, they're living there. You want to tell a transformational story, tell how their life changed, tell how things went different for them, tell how things changed, tell their changing condition. What happened with them? Are they more peaceful now? Are they more stable now? Are they more were there did they have a doctor's appointment and found that their medication was off track and now it's regulated? Have they gotten a physical? Like, what is the transformational story? This is the first time they slept in a bed in 3 years. Is this the first time the lady had a safe place in 5 years? Like, what is the transformation? This is what we call a change in condition. The numbers prove your case, but the stories is what wins the hearts. And when we're writing grants, especially the foundation, you want to win their heart. All right. I want you to share a compelling story of a family that you helped or a person that you helped, somebody's rent that was paid, the electricity that was paid, the eviction that was prevented, something like that. Number 9, I want you to show sustainability beyond the grant. So when you are going after fast track funding, you want them to know that you just need them right now. Time is of the essence. You already have most of it covered. You're trying to cover the rest of it. All right. So fast track funding often goes to organizations that have a plan to sustain the program. So if you already have money, organizations are willing to give you more. I remember I had been awarded a grant for $150,000, but I had asked for 250,000. And because I already had the 150, another funder said, "We'll just give you the other 100,000." All right. So you want to have a sustainability plan. Your sustainability plan says that you have other revenue, that you have other grants, that you're going after other opportunities. This is your sustainability plan. All right. And then the last thing, the last tip I can give you on how to fund your housing program: submit early. Submit your applications early. Applications that are rushed in at the last hour, sometimes they get flagged. They get flagged for errors, they get flagged for problems, and they get flagged for being late. If you submit it early, it'll show funders that you're serious, that you're prepared, and you're professional. Everything about the grant application process is designed to give funders an idea of what it would be like to give you money and to work with you and to partner with you on whatever it is that's going on. But if you are weak in your approach, if you are late or lazy, if you're raggedy in your approach, ain't nobody gonna want to give you money. All right. So you want to come across as serious, professional, and prepared. All right. Now, the next thing I want to do, I want to go over a a grant that we were awarded. Matter of fact, this is the one that remember I told you it was 100. They gave me $150,000. I'm gonna show it to you real quick. So this is the budget. This was awarded by the North Carolina Healthcare Foundation. And these are the line items. All right. These are the line items of what they covered: support groups, certifications, more certifications, materials, vital records, housing, communication, and personnel. All right. And this is the total of what it all came up to. All right. Can you all see my screen? $148,000. All right. 13,000 of it was indirect. That's overhead. You can use that for anything. But let's go line by line, and then we'll be done for today. All right. So for support groups, led by certified peer support specialists at $75 an hour. Facilitation of groups can be anywhere from $75 to $150 per hour. All right. An hour and a half per day for 3 days a week for 50 weeks out of the year. That's 16,875. Okay. Then you had certifications, certified peer support specialists. These are peers to receive CPSS certification, North Carolina State, all right, and NADAC, nationally recognized, by $15,000. I think the cost was $1,500 each. All right. Then your certifications, trauma informed certification. That was from, I think, Florida State University, 15 of them at $500 each, 7,500. Now, some of you don't know what to ask for, and that's why I'm going over this, so you have an idea of what's needed. In this program, we had staff that were peer support specialists. We needed to train them. Then we needed to pay them, all right, to do their peer work. Next, we had materials. These are brochures, etc., for advertising and outreach. That was just $1,400. Then we had vital records, because when people came to our center, when people came to our housing program, they were coming from court, they were coming from recovery, they were coming from reentry program, they were coming from incarceration. And so we set aside $35 per client for a social security card, birth certificate, state ID, and postage. And that was $1,750. This is how we get stuff paid for before the program starts. We get this stuff paid for before it starts. The money comes in, and then you spend it down. Next, we had the housing. All right. Now, we were a housing program, and in this grant, we were able to allocate $600 per month for 1 month of housing for 50 clients. So 50 people throughout the year were able to come and stay, and this grant would cover the cost of them being there. $600 of it, that's $30,000. This was money. It never went into their hands. The money came to the program, and each month we paid however many people were there. We paid $600, and that was the cost for housing. Then communication for each person. We needed a phone, that's a cell phone, plus $50 for 1 month of service. For 50 people, that's a total of $5,400. That's how we kept in touch with them. They needed to talk to employers and probation, et cetera, et cetera. And then the last thing was personnel. This was the money to cover staff. Program director, $30,000. Executive director, $15,000. And transportation, I would think that was another $20,000. And that was a total of $57,000. All right. All of this together was $134,925, plus $13,492. $13,492 was overhead, and the total that was awarded was $148,000. Now, remember I told y'all that you needed to demonstrate that you had other money, this is what we also had. We had other grants that were applied to this project. This led to a powerful proposal, a very effective, a strong grant proposal that was funded. All right. Now the total program was 250,000, but they awarded us 148. They removed 100,000 because they didn't pay for the food, and there was something else that they didn't pay for. But another foundation agreed to pay for it, and so I just sent them an email, asked them if they would cover it, and they said yes. And this grant was 2 pages. All right. 2 pages, $148,000. Now, Lord, time flies when you're having fun. So I asked you all for your homework to list out the things that you needed to cover. What things do you need to pay for? And some of y'all might have questions as you've done that. We'll have just a few minutes for questions. We'll take 2 or 3 before I have to go. Anybody have any questions? All right. Well, none. All right. Well, if you need me, make sure you reach out. Some of you might, a few people have called before. And if you want to meet with me, just DM and we can set up a meeting. We can talk about what you're working on and what you're trying to do. You can get a consultation, and we'll go over that. On Friday, when we come back, we're going to talk about specific funding sources that can cover these different expenses. And it's not what you think it is. Some people, when they do a housing program, they're trying to get housing grants. And that's really not the way to go. But I'm going to show you what to do on Friday. All right. I guess that's it for now. Thank y'all again for hanging out with me.
Can I ask a quick question?
Sure.
I'm sorry. I was trying to get to my phone. It doesn't have to do with housing, but is there a way you can get marketing dollars, marketing grants for for-profit?
For-profit grants, you can spend it on anything in the company. So there are nonprofit grants and there are for-profit grants. The nonprofit grants, when they say marketing, they don't actually say marketing. They mean outreach, and that's to do outreach to get people enrolled in your nonprofit program. If you are looking for grant funds for marketing for your for-profit company, then you want to apply for for-profit grants, and those grants you can spend that money on anything that the company needs.
Hey, now how can I reach out to you so I can learn more about this? And then I also have my sister. She wants to
just send me a DM and we'll set up a time. They'll send you a link and we can do a consultation to see what it is that you need, what your goals are, and what grants would fit you.
Thank you.
Send me a message and we'll set it up.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Other questions? All right, y'all. Well, y'all have a good day. Again, reach out if you need me. Until then, when we come back on Friday, we're going to have specific grants, specific foundations that fund the different things. So in the meantime, reach out and let me know what it is that you need funded, and we'll be ready for you on Friday. All right?
Thanks.
All right. Take
Bye.
care. Bye-bye.